Hey, I decided to continue my series on the Titanic lie. This series is called More of the Titanic Lie. And the original videos are on my channel, Village Prisoner Set Free. And if you go to the playlist, and click on the playlist, and that'll take you to the Titanic Live series. It looks like this. Okay, so there's the original series. This is the More Titanic Lies. So we're going to go to a documentary. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what they don't want you to see. Now, when the hoax took place, everybody was interested in the captain, E.J. Smith. So they were taking newsreels, tie around their noose, a noose tied around their neck, I mean. They were taking newsreels of Captain E.J. Smith when he was on the Olympic, not the Titanic. Now why? Because the Titanic never existed. That's why. It's a fictional ship. So the newsreels about Captain E.J. Smith were actually filmed on the Olympic, when it was in dry dock, when it was docked. So you're going to see a newsreel of E.J. Smith, and they will pawn it off as being on the Titanic after the so-called hoax disaster occurs. So I want to call your attention to the early technique of editing. I'm going to put it on slow motion. Okay, now I want you to look over here in the corner. There's something they don't want you to see. And it must be the name of a ship or the name of the location, because they're going to pass this off as the Titanic. Now that little blurb is early editing, and I did a video in that series on the tugboats, where they were showing the tugboats and they were trying to pass it off as the Titanic, but it really was the Olympic, so they had to edit the name of the tugboats. So there's something back there, and I can't quite make it out as to what it said, but obviously it was enough evidence to indicate that this was clearly not the Titanic. And yet, that is how they pulled off the hoax. All the footage they showed was basically the Olympic. So I'm going to try to zero in on that little bubble and play it in slow motion for you. And we'll see what happens. Okay, let's do it in reverse so you get a good idea of what's going on here. You're editing out something there so that the public does not realize they're being faked out. It's E.J. Smith on a casual cruise, docked, I think it was in New York City, and it's not the Titanic, but they will pass this stuff off in the eyes of the public as being the Titanic. And that's Captain Smith on the Titanic waltzing around. Crude, you can see some letters there. What it says, I'm not sure. But anyhow,
event of a disaster.
Whoop, sorry about that.
Captain Smith was the white.
Sorry, I'm not too good controlling all my equipment here. My videos are a little bit off, and I'm not really that good at editing and all that there stuff, but anyhow, I try to make good points. I try to give you truth. They're not perfect videos. You can see it there in the right corner, the little bubble of editing, so that you're not suspicious. If you're watching a newsreel back in the day of 1912, you can go, oh my, oh, the Titanic sank, and 703 or 705 died, but 1,500 were saved. Thank God for the Carpathia, the rescue vessel. What happened to Captain Smith? Well, anyhow, that's early editing. Editing out the name of something up here that the public is not meant to see, because it was all a hoax. It was all a lie. The Titanic never existed. That's why it could be sunk and be called the greatest maritime disaster. Now you know the truth. And the truth will set you free. Thank you for watching this video. End of video.